Hey orchid loving friends, it's Deb. I was just mixing up my fertilizer for tomorrow's feeding, and I thought this might be a good opportunity to share what I use and how I mix. So my fertilizer of choice is the Grow More Balanced Orchid Food. Grow More also has some specialized blends. They have one that is meant specifically for the growing season, one for inducing flower spikes and blooming, another one just for Paphiopedilums and Phalaenopsis, and then this one here that I use is meant for Cattleyas, Vandas, and Dendrobiums. However, I also use it for my phals. So I'm very happy with this fertilizer. It dissolves very easily in water. My plants seem to do well with it as well. So this container is about $26 Canadian. A regular dosage of it is 1 teaspoon per gallon. Maybe it's on this side, 1 teaspoon per gallon. However, I use a week dosage on a weekly basis. I use 1/4 of a teaspoon per gallon of water. And then my second nutrient is the General Hydroponics Cali Magic Calcium and Magnesium Blend. Again, this one is a teaspoon per gallon. I also only use a 1/4 teaspoon. So every single time I top up the water for my orchids, they are receiving the Cali Magic. The dosage ends up about 80 to 90 parts per million per gallon. And then for their feeding, they're getting both of these combined together, and that is typically anywhere between 160 and 180 parts per million in a gallon. I do use my TDS and my pH meters, but I tend to only use them now when I use rainwater. I find that my TDS can vary greatly in the rainwater here in Vancouver, so I always want to know what I'm starting with, so I tend to just use them now for rainwater. I know what my tap water usually comes out to, so I'm kind of comfortable not depending on them. When I'm all mixed up with my fertilizer, my CalMag, in my tap water, the pH is usually somewhere between 6.25 and 6.5. So that is optimal levels for nutrient absorption with your orchids. And yeah, that's what I do. I leave them sitting in the fertilizer for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then I drain it all out. I'll give them a flush of just fresh water, and then I will top them up with the calcium and magnesium afterwards, and that's what they sit in until their next feeding. Once a month, I also just flush them completely with fresh water that has nothing in it, and they will sit in a bath of that. So that regular weekly fertilizing will actually just be straight clean water, no fertilizer. So out of 4 weeks, they're fertilized 3, if that makes any sense. I hope it did. I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon.